Are you ready for a controversial topic? Well, hold on tight then, because we're about to dive into the top 10 most hated countries in the world. Some of these nations have been shrouded in controversy for decades, while others have recently come under fire for their actions. From political turmoil to human rights violations, these countries have made a name for themselves in all the wrong ways. So buckle up and get ready for a wild ride as we explore the top 10 most hated countries in the world. At number 10, we have the United States of America. The United States is undoubtedly one of the most powerful nations in the world, but with great power comes great responsibility. Unfortunately, the actions of the US government over the years have led to the country being one of the most hated in the world. From an aggressive foreign policy to a long history of interfering in the affairs of other nations, the US has managed to antagonize countless countries around the globe. The US is also known for its troubling human rights record, particularly in relation to issues such as police brutality and systemic racism. Additionally, the US has consistently failed to address pressing global issues such as climate change, which has only added to its negative reputation. While there are undoubtedly many wonderful things about the US, it's important to acknowledge and address the reasons why it is so widely disliked around the world. Coming in at number 9 is Iran. This is a country that I'm familiar with through my experience of knowing many Persians. The people are generally kind, intelligent, and friendly, especially in places like the Beverly Hills, which is filled with Persians. However, it's the Iranian government that has earned the country a spot on the list of the most hated countries. The government supports terrorism and has an abysmal human rights record. Additionally, it has a history of threatening the world with nuclear weapons and frequently antagonizes powerful nations. Iran seems to take pleasure in rubbing major powers the wrong way, and it's not just the United States for that matter. No matter where you are in the world, if you are a significant power, Iran has likely managed to provoke you at some point. But despite all of this, the Iranian people remain a shining example of warmth and hospitality, proving that it is possible to separate a government's actions from the people it governs. At number 8, we have the United Kingdom. The UK is a country that is widely despised by many people around the world, and it's not just because of its current actions. The UK has a dark and disturbing past, with many accusing it of being greedy and imperialistic. At one point, it ruled over a quarter of the world, and it was also one of the first countries to implement a slavery system. The UK has been responsible for the oppression and looting of many countries, and its involvement in numerous wars has only added to its negative reputation. Even going way back into history, the UK was seen as arrogant and oppressive, so it's no wonder that the country is so widely disliked. Reports suggest that the UK's presence in India had disastrous consequences, with the education system being destroyed. The UK's actions in India are just one example of the damage it has inflicted on other nations. While the UK has undoubtedly done some good in the world, its troubling history cannot be ignored. Making it to number 7 is Saudi Arabia, a Persian Gulf country. Saudi Arabia is notorious for its oil reserves and strict adherence to religious laws. The country has garnered worldwide attention for its medieval punishments, including stoning and amputation for thieves. Women in particular face numerous restrictions and lack the basic freedoms that are often taken for granted in other parts of the world. Perhaps one of the most perplexing laws in Saudi Arabia requires women to cover themselves from head to toe, including their faces, and they're not allowed to go out alone. A male relative must accompany them, which can become an inconvenience for both parties. Apart from these strict laws, there are other reasons why Saudi Arabia is often ranked among the most hated countries in the world. But despite being rich in cultural heritage, tourism is often discouraged due to the limited option for visitors, making it a rather dull destination. At number 6, we find Syria. Syria is one of the most hated countries in the world due to its ongoing civil war that has caused immense suffering for its citizens and resulted in numerous atrocities. The government, led by President Bashar al-Assad, has been accused of using chemical weapons against his own people and committing war crimes, including torture and extrajudicial killings. The conflict has also fueled the rise of extremist groups like ISIS, which has further destabilized the region and caused a refugee crisis. The international community has also been critical of Syria's government and its handling of the situation, which led to widespread condemnation and sanctions. Coming in at number 5 is Turkey. For centuries, Turkey has had a tumultuous relationship with the world. While the Turkish people themselves are generally warm and hospitable, their current and past governments have put them on the list of the most hated countries. The Ottoman Empire, which originated in in Turkey is infamous for the Armenian genocide, in which 1.5 million Armenians were massacred. Despite the widespread knowledge of the atrocity, the Turkish government still denies its occurrence. This refusal to acknowledge the past has only intensified Turkey's negative reputation. It's baffling to see a government deny historical facts that are widely accepted around the world. The Turkish people deserve better than to be associated with such horrific events and their government's denial of them. It's time for Turkey to take a more honest and introspective approach to its past and work towards healing and reconciliation. Number 4 is Israel, the only country in the world with a Jewish majority, situated in the Middle East and currently locked in a territorial dispute with Palestine. The conflict is over territory that holds great significance to both countries' dominant religions, resulting in a deep-seated hatred towards Israel from many Muslims across the globe. Israel's actions are often considered unsavory, and it's been accused of using its close relationship with the United States to enable questionable behavior. One major criticism is its handling of Israeli settlements in Palestinian territory, which has sparked controversy and backlash. Additionally, Israel's treatment of Palestinian refugees has been condemned, and the country has been known to use targeted killings to eliminate individuals it perceives as a threat to its security, usually Palestinians. Finally, Israel's secretive stockpiling of nuclear weapons has also been a point of contention in the international community. These actions have contributed to the negative perception of Israel in many circles, despite its status as a Jewish majority country. At number 3, we have North Korea, a country that is widely disliked and for good reason. The government is extremely oppressive and its international policies are often aggressive and peculiar. North Korea is ruled by third-generation dictator Kim Jong-un, who exercises tremendous control over the lives of his citizens. In fact, the country may have the worst human rights record in the world, although it's difficult to be sure due to the extreme secrecy of the regime. In North Korea, people are assigned their jobs by the government and have no say in their profession or position. Food distribution is also regulated, and serious shortages are a constant concern. Leaving the country without government permission is also virtually impossible. People can be arrested for arbitrary reasons and are commonly denied due process of law. Labor camps are also a reality for many, where people are effectively turned into slaves. Women in North Korea are reportedly frequent targets of sexual assault, particularly by those in positions of power. Making it to number 2 is China, a country with an enormous population, but unfortunately, it's also known for some very negative things. One of the most staggering aspects of China is its high rate of executions. In addition, the country has been accused of operating forced labor camps and has a troubling history. China is also known for its cheap exports, but the methods it uses to keep prices low are not always ethical. For example, the country has been accused of manipulating currency and engaging in territorial disputes with Taiwan. China's low-cost products often include food and medicine, but the use of substandard materials has led to deaths in some cases. This type of behavior has been going on for decades, with toys being a particularly troubling example. In the past, Chinese manufacturers have replaced safe materials with cheaper, dangerous ones like lead-based paint. It's no wonder that China is one of the most hated countries in the world with such a track record of unethical and harmful practices. Finally, we're at the top of our list of the most hated countries in the world. But before I reveal number 1, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. So at number 1 is Russia. Russia is widely considered to be the most hated country in the world. Its president, Vladimir Putin, is known for his imperialistic agenda of merging the former Soviet republics into one nation and has little concern for Russia's negative reputation. The country is often aggressive towards its neighbors and is quick to engage in military conflict, such as the 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Russia's close alliances with other controversial regimes, such as those of Syria and North Korea, only serve to worsen its public image. Additionally, Russia is notorious for interfering in foreign elections and severely limiting personal freedoms and democracy. These factors have contributed to a widespread negative view of Russia, particularly in the United States.